Well, hi there. Welcome. Welcome back to another week. Welcome back to another week of hockey videos where we're going to be talking still more about the San Jose Sharks. And big news this week is that Sharks have finally officially declared a new franchise head coach. And yes, I'll use the word new kind of loosely in this situation because Bob Boughner was the interim head coach after the Peter DeBoer firing from the San Jose Sharks, but is officially now the head coach and the 9th overall head coach in franchise history. Now, before we talk about his head coaching career, we need to go backwards and talk about his playing career because he did grow up playing hockey and did make it into the NHL at one point in time during his career. And we're going to go backwards to 1988 where he played for the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds. And in his first season in 64 games, he got 6 goals and 15 assists. And honestly, there's another notable stat in all this, in that he got 182 penalty minutes, which translates to about 2.8 minutes per game in the penalty box. Wow, Boughner. And yes, it was a different era of hockey back then, but again, that's a lot of penalty minutes. But the Detroit Red Wings decided to take a shot at him, and in the second round, 32nd overall in the 1989 draft, the Detroit Red Wings picked up Bob Boughner. And honestly, that was a very good draft year for the Detroit Red Wings. And honestly, on a side note, with the Detroit Red Wings that draft year, third round after Bob Boughner, Nicholas Lidstrom, and fourth round, Sergei Fedorov. Wow, Detroit Red Wings had a very good draft year. But back to Bob Boughner, where the Greyhounds didn't qualify for the playoffs in 1989, but Boughner did come back for a second season for Greyhounds and played 15 fewer games but got 7 goals and 23 assists, so more point production during those years. But Greyhounds unfortunately again failed to qualify for the playoffs that year. And for his third and final year with the Greyhounds, Bob Boughner got 13 goals and 33 assists across 64 games, which helped the Greyhounds qualify for the OHL playoffs. And in the OHL playoffs, Boughner played 14 games, got 2 goals and 9 assists, which helped the Greyhounds win the OHL championship that year, and helped them qualify for the 1991 Memorial Cup, where they did finish 4th overall. And in the 1991-1992 season, the Detroit Red Wings decided to kind of give him a little bit more of a chance with their ECHL team, and some little notable stats of 28 games with 3 goals and 10 assists. And for the following 2 seasons, the Detroit Red Wings did place him in their AHL affiliate team, and Boughner across those 2 seasons did get 9 goals and 30 assists. But remember those penalty minutes that I was talking about when he was with the Greyhounds? 484 penalty minutes, which translates to about 3 to 4 penalty minutes per game those 2 seasons. And during the offseason, the Detroit Red Wings didn't re-sign Bob Boughner, but the Florida Panthers decided to take a shot and placed him within their IHL affiliates, the Cincinnati Cyclones, for about a season, and then transferred him to their AHL team, the Carolina Monarchs. And there's really no big notable stats to talk about with these 2 teams, but on February 1st of 1996, the Buffalo Sabres traded away their 3rd round pick for Bob Boughner, and 2 days later, Boughner finally played his first ever NHL game against the Boston Bruins. And I wish I could tell you some happy story of oh, Bob Boughner got a game-winning goal or a game-winning assist or a hat trick or something like that, but unfortunately, no points. But he did get 12 penalty minutes. 2 for roughing, and a 10-minute game misconduct at the beginning of the second period. And that's it. However, 20 days later, Boughner did get his first ever NHL point on assist on the 7th goal of a 7-2 victory over the Philadelphia Flyers on an assist to Scott Pearson. And that was his only point in his first partial season across 31 games for the Buffalo Sabres. However, about a year later, on February 21st of 1997, he did record his first ever goal against the New York Islanders. And in this season, the Sabres did make the playoffs, and Boughner played in 11 playoff games and only got 1 assist. He did stay for a 3rd season, but after that, the Sabres didn't decide to protect Boughner during the 1998 expansion draft. And as a result, the Nashville Predators, the expanding team, decided to take on Bob Boughner, where he had one of the best seasons of his career with 79 games, 3 goals, and 10 assists. And Boughner stayed with the Nashville Predators for about a season and 3/4, to which he was traded to the Pittsburgh Penguins in the year 2000. And really no notable stats with the Pittsburgh Penguins other than he did play in 29 postseason games with the Pittsburgh Penguins across the two seasons, but not much production and only 3 assists in those playoff games. And the Pittsburgh Penguins decided to let him go, to which the Calgary Flames decided to pick him up during the 2001-2002 season, more for just that veteran experience and veteran presence of having someone on the team with a bunch of young guys, but not the best first season, but definitely a better second season with the Calgary Flames. And in that second season with the Calgary Flames, Bob Boughner did tie his career high of 3 goals, got his career high of assists with 14, and his career high of points with 17. Calgary Flames did trade him to the Carolina Hurricanes in 2003, to which he only played about a season, and then was traded to the Colorado Avalanche, and then 3 years later decided to retire. And that was on June 15th of 2006 when Bob Boughner decided to retire and hang up his skates from his playing career. However, he did decide to take a coaching opportunity back to the OHL for the Windsor Spitfires. And this is where Bob Boughner's coaching career begins, with the Windsor Spitfires, where they were struggling. And I'm not joking about that. Bob Boughner was the head coach, president, and CEO at one point in time. And in that first season, the Spitfires finished 18, 43, and 7, and which was somehow second last overall. But they did bounce back for a second season. And by bouncing back, I mean they finished their second season with Bob Boughner with 41, 15, and 12 overall record, which was second in the Western Conference and qualified them for the OHL playoffs. And unfortunately, they did get knocked out of the first round of that year, but the following season started a back-to-back OHL championship and a back-to-back Memorial Cup championship. In 2009, the Spitfires got the first in the West. They won the OHL Championship in 2009 and the Memorial Cup in 2009. And then in 2010, got first in the West, won the OHL Championship, and won the Memorial Cup again in 2010. And these were the first ever Memorial Cup champions in Spitfire franchise history. And after those championships, Bob Boughner did coach for another 4 seasons. He didn't find that much success, but was able to compete in the playoffs. However, he did coach a lot of notable players like Taylor Hall, Adam Henrique, Ryan Ellis, Josh Bailey, Cam Fowler, and Philip Grubauer. And in the 2015-2016 season, the San Jose Sharks and then head coach Peter DeBoer decided to make Bob Boughner an assistant coach. Then 2 years later, the Florida Panthers fired their head coach Gerard Gallant and then decided to make Bob Boughner their head coach. So I guess apparently this last season wasn't the only season Gerard Gallant was replaced by a San Jose Sharks coach. Huh! And in Bob Boughner's first season with the Florida Panthers, he led the team to a 44, 30, and 8 season, which was just 1 point shy of tying the New Jersey Devils and therefore not qualifying them for the playoffs. And his second season with the Florida Panthers wasn't as successful, with a 36, 32, and 14 season, to which they did not qualify for the playoffs, and the Florida Panthers unfortunately fired Bob Boughner and then hired Joe Quenneville. And then Boughner returns to San Jose as an assistant coach, and then on December 11th of 2019, San Jose Sharks fired Peter DeBoer and then hired Boughner as their interim head coach. In that partial season, Boughner did finish off with a 14, 20, and 3 record, which was the 31 points of the 63 that the San Jose Sharks got this last season. And to be honest, it's not really fair to criticize him if anyone's ever criticized him this last season, because he was just kind of thrown into just a terrible situation, to be honest, this last season. And then on September 22nd, just under a week ago, Bob Boughner was finally announced as the official head coach of the San Jose Sharks, and that's where we are today. So please let me know, what do you think about Bob Boughner? Is he a good choice? Should Sharks gone after a different head coach? I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see how he does in the next season because of just how terrible this last season was. And that's who Bob Boughner is. So please leave a comment down below. Should Sharks have kept him, or should they have gone after someone else? It's going to be interesting next season, seeing if they can bounce back after this terrible last season. So please like this video if you enjoyed this. Please leave a comment down below. Please subscribe if you want to see more. We're going to be posting videos every Monday around 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So until the next time, please stay safe and please stay healthy.